Hello everyone, this is Ulises Vega. I hold a real estate broker license in the state of California, and today I'm going to go over why it's important to own real estate as soon as you're able to. Some of us are visual and we want to see breakdown of numbers. So I decided to do something like this so that I can show you all why you need to own real estate. The average rent is about $2,400 for a one bedroom, one bath. However, if you live in LA County, that average is about $3,200 for a one bedroom, one bath. If we look at an average of about $2,400 for a rent, in 1 year, we would be looking at paying almost $29,000 for rent alone. Now, let's keep in mind, rents are never fixed. They're variable, which means they fluctuate. You're probably gonna be looking at an annual increase in rent of anywhere between 3 to 7%. I did the calculation at 4%. So after year one, you're gonna be paying $2,400. Year two, you're probably gonna be paying closer to $2,500 in rent. Year one, you're gonna be paying $29,000 altogether in rent. Year two, you're gonna be paying just under $30,000. You're gonna be paying $31,000 in year three, and by then, you're paying just under $2,600 in rent. Remember, we started at $2,400. Year four, you're gonna be paying over $32,000 in rent, and you're looking at a $2,700 payment. So in 4 years, your rent went up a total of $300. If you live in the San Bernardino, Riverside County, you would have spent about $122,000 in rent alone. But the part that makes me evaluate all these numbers if I'm looking to purchase and I've been on the fence is that not only did I went and paid $122,000 to a landlord, but I accumulated zero in equity. Remember, generational wealth is done through owning real estate. And the fact that my rent is never fixed, it's gonna go up every single year. If you live in LA County, instead of paying $122,000 in rent, you're gonna be looking at about over $161,000. So the average net worth of a tenant is about $33,000. What is net worth? Well, net worth is basically how much are you worth if we were to calculate all of your assets. Cash, jewelry, anything of value. So the average net worth of a tenant is about $33,000. Now, I made the calculations. This side is an average purchase of a home in Riverside County and San Bernardino County. Average price of a home, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, single story, about 1,300 square feet, is about $500,000. If we are first time buyers, we're gonna be looking at about a 3.5% down payment, FHA. We're gonna be looking at roughly about $17,500 for our down payment. But remember, when you purchase a home, it's not just the down payment that we also have to calculate, but there's other fees that are called closing costs. Those are the fees that are related to the purchase. Usually, I like to calculate about 3% of the purchase price. So if the purchase price is $500,000, I'm gonna calculate an extra $15,000. So $17,500 for my down payment and $15,000 for my closing costs. That'll come out to about $32,500 in money that I need to have aside in order to make a purchase. Now, before you freak out, keep in mind that the closing cost can be negotiated with the seller through the purchase contract. Now, it doesn't mean that the sellers are obligated to accept. So the sooner you're off the fence, the quicker we'll find out if the seller's willing to pay your closing cost or not, or at least part of it. You're gonna be having a mortgage payment of about $4,7200. So year two, $4,072, year three, year four, same thing. That means that the payment is fixed. No matter what happens with the economy, no matter what happens anywhere, your payment is gonna be fixed for the life of the loan, which is a 30-year fix. If we put $17,500 as a down payment, because we're using our 3.5 FHA down, we are gonna borrow from the bank approximately $483,000. Now, here's the beauty about it. When you own a house, you're gonna be building equity somewhere around 5 to 7% annually. Remember, over here as a tenant, you build zero equity any year that you're renting. So if we borrow $483 from a bank, year one, your house is going to be worth about $500,000. Year two, you had a 7% equity increase. Now that home is now worth $535. Year three, that same house is going to be worth about $570,000. Year four, you're going to be looking at close to $605,000. Now, in 4 years, you probably dropped the balance to maybe around $457,000, because keep in mind, your first 4 to 7 years, you're going to be paying more interest than principal. So I kept it conservative. Let's say we owe $457 after 4 years. We bought it for $500,000, but now that same house is worth $605,000. After 4 years, we should have roughly about $148,000 in equity. But this is the beauty. Remember over here that the tenant's net worth is roughly about $33,000. The average net worth of a homeowner is about $360,000. That's almost 12 times what a tenant is worth versus a homeowner. So after looking at these numbers, if I've been on the fence about purchasing real estate because I don't think I can afford it, well, you've been affording the rent pretty well. And guess what? Year after year after year, your rent is going to continue to go up. You're not going to be building equity, and you're going to be making somebody else wealthier. You're going to help somebody else retire sooner. And at the end of the 4 years, you're not going to have anything to show for. Over here, after 4 years, you should have under $150,000 in equity. You might say, Ulysses, what can I do with that equity? You could do many things. You can pull some money out and purchase rental property, purchase some units so that the tenants could help you pay the mortgage. Another beauty about owning units is that the rent that's being collected could be calculated to help you qualify for that loan as well. So hopefully this was helpful. Again, if you have any real estate questions, send me a DM. I know that sometimes fear paralyzes us, because I hear a lot of times individuals say, Ulysses, man, I would love to buy, but I don't have a down payment. Well, guess what? There are loans that if you qualify, they can help you with a down payment in form of a silent second, a grant. And like I said, closing costs could be negotiated through the purchase contract. If you hire a real estate broker with almost 19 years of experience, I will negotiate that on your behalf. Now, again, it doesn't mean that the seller will agree, because now that the interest rates have dropped, we now are seeing multiple offers. We're seeing counter offers where sellers may not necessarily want to pay all of the closing or half of them, but the sooner you get off the fence, the sooner somebody knowledgeable like me will be able to negotiate on your behalf. So remember, the average net worth of a tenant, $33,000. The average net worth of a homeowner is about $360,000. That's almost 12 times. And sometimes we are afraid of that commitment. But we've been committed to renting for 4 years. What's the difference? Remember, you're never going to build equity by renting. By playing it safe, you're going to be dropping about $122,000 in 4 years. You are going to be paying $29,000, $30,000, $31,000, and $32,000 respectively. But yet, you need about $18,000 for your FHA down payment. So as you can see, you can afford a house. If you have any questions, reach out to me.